Hello everyone, in this video we want to talk about what are the modules, functions, subs in the VBA. As you can see, there is an invoice software here that I use VBA programming to develop such a software. So let's go and see the Visual Basic by using this button here. And as you can see, we described this idea of the VBA programming in the previous videos, and we talk about the objects and the class in the VBA as well. So as I told you, these are the worksheets which are the object of our Excel file, and we have so much objects in the VBA, and also we can produce the object by ourselves, and also we can write the class modules as well. So in the VBA, in the idea of the VBA, if you go up here, you can see insert user form button here. If you press the arrow button here, you will see three different things. First one is a user form, second one is a module, and the last one is the class modules. These are all objects of the VBA, Microsoft Office, and we use them for different tasks. The user form is the things that enable us to develop and form object that can be shown to the user to enter the data, manipulate some data, do some works, and give us the result. And the second one, the module, give us the object which is the place for writing our codes. And the last one is the class module, which enables us to write some codes for generating objects. We do not use so much class module. Actually, until now, I didn't use the class module because the object of the VBA are complete most of the case, and it will be used for some really expert programming for generating software that is really experts. And in that case, I don't think we need to use Office because when we need to generate the class, we actually go to use another languages, programming languages. So these two are most useful modules that we will use. If you select which of them, it will generate a new folder, which is the form folder, one for a form folder and one for a module folder. The module, as I told you, is a place for writing the codes. Also, you are able to write the codes in each of these worksheet objects. As you can see that right now it's empty, but you are able to write the codes here as well. Also, we will write most of the codes that are related to the one worksheet. For example, if I want to manipulate something that need to be happen in these sheets, and it's need to be triggered as in these sheets, we will talk about this in the future videos. For example, if I want to write enter something, and after the entering this data, I want to something be happen in these sheets, I can use the object sheet one to write in such a code. However, for most general cases, we use module. As you remember in the macros, when we record a macro will automatically create a module and put the data, put their codes in that module. In the most cases, when we want to write the codes, we create a module here, and then we rename it to the what we need, for example test, and we write our codes here. As you can see, I write so much codes in this module. But why I have different modules? Because modules enable me to categorize my codes for finding them and manipulating them in the best way. For example, if I want to edit some codes in this software, I will refer to these modules, And if I want to find my codes efficiently, for example, if I want to edit the code related to adding the item into the factor, I can come here and find this code more efficiently. Or for generating the factor, or I know all the settings related to code, all the codes related to the settings will be in this module. So modules will give us a place to write our codes, as well as will enable us to categorize our codes in the efficient way. And after that, when I create a module, I am able to write my codes. So I can write the codes in two ways actually. I can use the sub function, or I can use a regular function. If you come here, I use the sub function here, and you can see let me see if I can find a function here, and I use a function code. I use a function here as well. So I have two ways for writing code. For starting the code, I can use sub, and I need to name my code, for example Armin code, and I need to open the parentheses and close the parentheses, and then after that I need to press enter. So when I write such a thing, this is the place it's enable me to refer to one algorithm. So whenever you have an algorithm, you need to write it in between the sub, or in between the function. For example, if I want to write a function, I can just simply here write function, for example Armin function, and then open and close the parentheses, and then press enter, and it's automatically at the end function. So in this two way I can write the code, and each algorithm you have, it's need to be written in the between of the sub or between the function space. So why we do that? It's because when I want to have an algorithm, I need to name it at first. So this is the name of my algorithm, and also I may need to give some data to my algorithm. Some algorithms need some data to work. For example, the sort situation. Some algorithms need to have an sort situations. When we give this data to my algorithm, to my codes, then my code can be run. So and also I need to tell to VBA where my algorithm starts and where it will be ended, and this is the way to saying that my algorithm will start here. This is the start of my algorithm, and it will be the end of my algorithm. As well as here, I telling the VBA this is my start of my algorithm, and it will be my end of my algorithm. And now I can write all other steps in between these spaces. So why sub and functions are different? Actually, the function is the algorithm that give me something back. It's just one thing. It can be a value, it can be a string, it can be anything array, it can be a collection of the data. Just one thing. It can be object as well. So functions will result to one thing that give me back that result. But sub is the place to write the algorithm which has no result to give it back to us. So for example, the sub is just this steps. For example, I can say to VBA to tell the Excel go to cell A1, for example. It gave me an error because it's not a code. I just writing something. If you want to write some text that are not standard in the VBA, you can use the comment by pressing quotation before you start writing something, and it can be change it to the green. If it's a green, then VBA will omit this one, and it's just for you to be noticed. So I can tell the code to go to the cell A1. I can say VBA change the color of fill of cell A1, and all other thing that I need to this code be done. So as you can see, there is nothing to be backed to the end user by this sub. It's just some steps that VBA actually need to take. But in the function I need, for example, to tell VBA get the value of A1, and then VBA sum this value with, for example, A1 and 2. So VBA get A1 value, make a summation with the value 1 and 2, and then VBA give me back the result of summation. So the result of the summation should be given back to us. So this is how the function is different from the sub. And also there is another difference. If you go to this Excel file, for example, select a cell, and then you need to write a function. If you press equation here and then write armin, you can see armin function is showing you here, and it can be used in the Excel environment, but you will not able to use the sub. As you can see, here it's showing you the armin function, but it's not showing you the armin code. So the function enable you to be used in the Excel environment as well, but subs are not allowed to be used in the Excel environments. So whenever you want to just take some steps in the algorithm and telling the VBA do some works for you, you can use the sub. And whenever you need to get back some results, or if you need to a function be used in the Excel environment, you can use the functions. So this is the sub and the function. You have a private sub or function. If you write a private here, for example here, if I write private, then you can see it's changed to the blue, and it's showing the private function. The private function is the thing that cannot be used in other modules, or as well as it cannot be used in the Excel environment. For example, if I write the armin, now you cannot see the armin function because it's a private function. So we will talk about the private and the general function as well in the future videos. So this is what the sub and functions means. And about the user form, as I told you, a user form give you a space, give you a tool to create a forms, a customized form, and you are able to showing this form to the end user, as well as getting some data and running some algorithms and many things with for a user for developing user interface. So this is a way to, for example, if I run this code, it's showing me a form which allow you to interact with your user by using a customized form. So by using user form, you are able to have another interaction way with the end user. So for example, I can add some products by using this form, or I can just press the cancel as the end user to close this form. So this is the user form, which is very useful for you. The next video, I want to go to talk about how I can get a value from cell, do some calculation. For example, I get some quantity of the product or services that I want to sell it to the end user and to the customer, I get the value of the product, I get the price, I will get these. I may do some calculation on this, and then I will add it to my invoice here. So in the next video, we will talk about how we can develop a code that gets some values from the cells of the Excel, do some calculation on that, and then set the value into the another cell in the Excel. So until next video, goodbye. In order to watch more training videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diako Ltd. And if you want to see our products, please visit our website, diako.co.uk.